Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Eden runs. Why don't you play as Apollyon? Because the Void shows up every run anyway. D9PT613M. Bad stats, to some extent at least. However, Pokeball can do some good stuff for us. And we also have the syringe, whose name I forget. It might just be called... Maybe it's called euthanasia? Can't recall. Either way, that means that when we shoot a syringe, which you'll notice, like right like that, kind of shoots out a Tammy's headshot afterwards. And then anything that gets killed by the Tammy's headshot shoots out a syringe of its own or a Tammy's headshot of its own? I can't recall. So I'd say that definitely we have the potential to create something pretty decent out of this. We should have gotten the champion, if possible, but not the end of the world either way. There we go. We got a nice set of chain reactions here. We are a little bit below average on damage. Luck is pretty okay, actually, all things considered. Negative 0.01 is better than the average Eden start, which I think starts you... It seems to start you below 0 all the time. It might give you between, like, negative 1 and 0 luck. Rarely do I seem to start with positive Eden luck, but most of the time, you know, you make up for that with more items. And we got an extra item because we got Eden's Blessing on our last run. I guess. I think we got that on the chest. So our potential stat here is high. Our speed's good, which is always important. I'm going to stick with this trinket to try to internalize what it actually does. Our speed stat is good. Rate of fire is better than usual. And it's just damage that needs to come up. But even then, you know, we've got a decent damage enabler anyway. All right. Not the right call to take a Mullaboom. I really thought that Mullabooms maybe would just spawn flies that benefited me and stay away from enemies, but obviously that's not the case. More syringes landing, please. What do I want here? I want, like, damage upgrades and then, like, a high rate of fire and, like, Parasite Tears or Cricket's Body or something. I want to make the most out of syringe here. Obviously, just getting more syringes would get me closer to Spun as well, but... Magic Scab, beautiful, 0.99 luck and extra HP. One of these rooms is a library. So let's go back and, again, like, that trinket is probably better. Petrified Hoop is probably better, but I'm going to stay away from it for now and instead invest in trying to figure out what pay-to-play does. Or pay-to-win. This is actually pay-to-win, isn't it? Book of Shadows, Telepathy for Dummies. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Book of Shadows is the right choice. Pokeball, it's not new. It's been in the game for, you know, since Afterbirth came out. So it's not like I'm, you know, forsaking an item that we've seen, or an item that we've never seen. Rather, it's just an item that I don't particularly enjoy most of the time. Although there are exceptions. There we go. Secret room. I hate this, dude. Reroll machine. With no, item. You're just like, what am I supposed to do now? Got a Bracano rune, there's nothing wrong with that. But, it doesn't give me what I'm looking for. We got 3 bombs left. I think we could use 1 to look for a second secret room. Could be there. Could be there. Could be here. You know what? Actually, none of these seem... Well, let me put it this way. All of them seem convincing to me, so I'm going to save our bombs. Hopefully we'll get 3 Tinted Rocks on the next floor to make good use of them. Curse of the Lost. Relatively irrelevant. Now, you'll have to bear with me, because temporarily, I'm going to be wasting a lot of Book of Shadows charges. I do love Book of Shadows. I will use it on bosses without a doubt, but I'm going to save, especially with no map, I'm going to save the charges for now. What I might do is just use them to get that curse room for half price, like save half a spirit heart. Yeah, that seems fine, especially with the battery charge rate here. So, walk in, then we'll use it. Because there, again, could be enemies on here. Hopefully it lasts long enough for us to get out. Ooh, fuck the penny. You escaped. That's all that matters. We'll grab this. All right. So far, so good. HP was not a pressing concern. You know what? HP was not a pressing concern, but We did get more on the last floor. Regardless, this floor would be awesome if it gives us... I mean, maybe even a greater rate of fire is more important than damage right now, because the more syringes we shoot out, you know, they do like 10 times our damage or something like that. So proportionally, a -1 tier delay might be substantially more valuable than like a plus 0.5 damage stat or something. But it depends, I think, on how frequently we shoot out a syringe. Right now, it seems like, you know, maybe 1 in 10, something like that. Let's try. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. Scientific proof. 1 in 10. Now it's 1 in 2. Wow, our luck stat must have improved. See, what NL is trying to demonstrate is the errant nature or erroneous nature of small sample sizes. Okay, what do we got in here? We got the syringe. 100%. Lowered our damage. Raised our rate of fire. And a finger curls on the monkey's paw, you know? Be careful what you wish for. So our damage now is in suck zone. However, rate of fire is good, and we are closer to spun, which is going to give us a +2 damage, assuming we haven't hit like a multiplier or something. So I stand by this still being the right choice. Of course, we could have gone for the reroll, but I stand by this being the right choice, even if it led to sort of not amazing results immediately. There's no reroll machine in here. So what am I trying to think? Pay to play? I'm trying to remember. Does it give us shops later? Or does it give us, like on the womb? Or does it give us, might as well pop this because we're going to do this. Does it give us a reroll machine on shops? It still could. It would just have to be a chance instead of a guarantee. You know what? I think I do. Our bombs are not precious right now. Our keys are. But I still want to try to get whatever's in there. And that's Bob's Rotten Head. Not really worth it, except that Bob's Rotten Head can't show up from another golden chest in the future. So I guess we'll take that as a positive. This is important. So we've got to deal with the devil incoming. What's our ideal payout from the boss? Straight up, like, growth hormones would be awesome. Might seem like our run sucks right now, but it's just... we're really just waiting on syringes to land. And when the syringes land, I expect them to deal a bunch of damage. I also stand by... well, it wasn't that much. I also stand by the idea that if we get, like, Red Outbreak, which I don't even remember the name of because I've only had it in Josh Mod, I think. Oh, Brimstone is going to ruin our syringes, and our damage still sucks, but I'm taking it. There's no doubt. Whoa, it's bad. Okay, that might have been a poor decision. I love it. Let's do it. You might say, by the way, NL, don't think Brimstone is not a fun item. You had syringes. Syringes are fun. Yo, we have 1.91 damage. And do you know how many times? Go back and watch, like, Don't. The run where the game crashed on me 3 times or twice. Sorry, don't want to be needlessly hyperbolic. Crashed on me twice during the Delirium fight when I had the win, basically. And then tell me that I shouldn't be taking the items that give me the best chance to fuck the game. I'm going to take the items that give me the best chance to fuck the game. And I will be relatively unapologetic for it, despite the fact that that goes against my Canadian nature. I would love to get spun still, though. Because we're fairly far behind the 8 ball. When we're fighting champions, which apparently we do every room now, when we're fighting champions, we're not doing a whole lot of damage to these, like, Cheeto worms here. A rate of fire increase doesn't really give me what I'm looking for. It has to be damage. It's always been damage. Peep. So straight up, Peep, stand still and be affected by bombs. This is my dream for you. I will use all of my bombs to wipe you off the face of the planet. Your ashes will scatter to the earth. You shall be no more. No deal with the devil. Wire coat hanger. When I said that tears don't matter, what I meant to say, of course, was tears matter. Tears matter a lot. They matter, like, more than anything. So I'm super glad we got them. I'm not sweating it. Item room contains... Forget me now. I think I'm going to use it. But first we'll try to get a better item. Well, Mystery Sack. Mystery Sack's good, dude. Nothing wrong with Mystery Sack. I want to explore the rest of this floor. I don't give a shit about boss rush. That's very secondary to our goal of winning. However, if we could find a library, I would very much like that. Similarly, anything that allows us to use our Forget-Me-Now as a teleport, sign me up. So if we can get out of like a mob trap room after opening this stuff, fine by me. Gonna go out on a limb and say that battery charge doesn't help Forget-Me-Now that much. Oh, this is our library? This is a library, so we should have Bookworm now. Anarchist Cookbook, Necronomicon, neither of which are good enough to, don't get hit. Neither of which are good enough to be too excited about. But, oh god. The Bookworm, though, is fairly solid. Occasionally we'll get an extra tier, basically. We'll open this. We get a single bomb, and we'll see you next floor. So, we got a tiers upgrade, and we got Bookworm on that floor. Not gonna complain too much, considering the floor was effectively free. However, it is fair to say I think that this run has problems right now. The problems are exclusively damage, not primarily damage, exclusively damage. We even have a respawn via Lazarus Rags. All we need to do is get damage. Not to make the respawn work, but to, like, accommodate every single area of need for us right now. This is the kind of run, I see you out there on the Isaac subreddit. Say things like, Brimstone's overrated. If you got bad damage, it's not going to save your run. That's very true. This run is emblematic of that. However, most of the time, bad damage on an average run, and what constitutes bad damage to the point where, like, Brimstone is not going to help you too much. Two very, very different things. We got lucky to live there, to be honest with you. I don't think we can go back into our mob trap room to get the HP that's sitting on the ground there. Maybe we can because we've defeated it. We should go back. Like, I'm not worried about the fact that we missed out on a deal with the Devil Chance. It would have been nice to have the chance to get it, but it is what it is, right? We still, it was sensible to come down to this floor, I think, at the cost of losing our Book of Secrets, Book of Shadows. That's it. And actually, even on this run right here, as wonky as it is right now, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to stick with pay to win, which might also be called pay to play. I'm going to stick with that and try to make it work. On the Isaac run, when you get the Brimstone, you can get some damage. I was only joking, you can get some damage if you do. I don't know where we're going with that joke. That joke's going nowhere. He's going under like Evanescence after Evanescence's second single going under. Two of the same pill. It's a sign. It's not a sign. It's just a coincidence. You know I'm intrigued by that. Oh! We had to run in there because otherwise the donation machine was going to blow up again via scatter bombs, and we would have lost Death's Touch. So, Death's Touch is like... is the perfect item. You always want it. It's just... well, it's good enough in almost every situation, but it's not so good enough that people go, oh, don't pick that up, it makes the run too easy. It's a beautiful combination. You can always take it guilt-free. So, if we can get... well, that's pretty good, too. If we can get Bookworm to work more frequently, or alternatively, what's working for us right now is just having more damage thanks to Death's Touch, we're going to be in a much, much, much better spot here. Like, we only... if we had 2020, we wouldn't need damage to have a good chance to win. By the way, this is pre-Death's Touch me talking right now. Now that we have Death's Touch, we probably are relatively set. Especially with a 2020 shot. Like, killing him in 2 hits, that's like High Priestess level damage. Broken Moon card. No idea. Take this Broken Moon and learn to fly again. Learn to live so free. Oh, wait, is a Broken Moon card not a trinket? I was operating under the concept that it was a trinket. But it could have actually been a card that I should have used. Maybe it would have taken me to an error room or something. Oh, well. See if you can spot the 2020 shot when it comes out. Enemies die twice as fast, so it shouldn't be too fucking tough. No arcade. So we're just gonna move very rapidly here. It helps that none of the rooms have enemies in them. I am going to try to make boss rush work. It's gonna be a little bit of a risk right now. Ace of clubs, not bad. We're gonna go to every item room. We're gonna go to every shop. At least every one that we can see and get to in a reasonable time frame. That's a reroll for sure. But I'm still, like, I think we're going fast enough now that I could justify trying to make it happen. I realize now in hindsight that we actually have no desire to take Book of Sin. Would have rather kept rerolling, but I picked it up being like, oh, there's no reason not to. Now we'll just take Diplopia and the Two of Hearts card, which is not very good. But we'll take Diplopia and probably Diplopia Boss Rush. I always mess it up, but we're gonna... Oh, I already placed a bomb there. We're gonna try it nonetheless. Sorry, Book of Sin. We're gonna be about a minute and a half behind schedule, I think. That's actually not that bad. Considering that I think we're gonna be moving much faster here. So this is probably just gonna be a run where we kick the shit out of the game. And I'm just loving that. Again, we had so many runs that kicked the shit out of us that I am loving being able to kick the shit out of the game. And you know what? The game deserves it. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe in like a couple of weeks, I'll come down and I'll be like, you know, I forgive the game for ultra hard. I forgive it for those crashes. For now, first off, that's not as engaging from a content perspective. Ooh, 2 tears ups. Don't mind if I already did. Shit. It's a long run. 2 rooms. No, but for now, the game owes me. And I'm not saying I'm entitled, but the game owes me. As far as I'm concerned. It put us through a lot. It put us through some horrible ultra hard challenges that I won't even speak of right now. It put us through the don't run, where every single Delirium fight crashed until finally it didn't. Just those 2 things alone. I mean, that comprises like 6 episodes worth of content, mostly on ultra hard, obviously, but I've earned my Brimstone Mom's knife runs, okay? It's like we worked hard all semester. We got a 4.0. We maintained our scholarship. And then you're saying, oh, don't eat that slice of apple pie. Don't you know it's got trans fats in it? Look, ignorance is bliss. Everything in moderation, including moderation. 7 years ago, etc., etc. I was trying to go fast there, but obviously that led to us taking damage. But so what's the key to getting to boss rush? You are a sneaky, sneaky man there. We are going to have a hard time making it unless we can get mapping. We don't even really need more damage, to be honest with you. Just mapping would... Oh my god, come on. Just mapping would do it. Short of mapping, an orbital that helps us kill Mom faster might do it. I think if we make it down to the next floor by 18 minutes, we've got a reasonably good chance. And, I mean, our damage is obviously great. The thing that slows us down is rooms like this where we can't kill every enemy in a single straight line. So, it's... Like, even this room is basically the same speed as the last one. Rate of fire is really good. I think we could shoot a little faster. And now, why'd you sing that song in the summertime? There's 2 things. There's 2 reasons. One is, it's one of my earliest known memories, is this song. That song in the summertime. Sorry, Bear Taffy linked me to a picture of, like, maybe like a 13-year-old kid posing next to his mom's houseplant, and the text on it says legalize it. And it just, I gotta admit, it got me. It hit me right in the funny bone. Either way, one of my earliest known memories from a commercial standpoint is there was a Subway ad before Subway was even that popular. Not trying to be a hipster or anything. I'm just saying, like, This is before it was like, yeah, let's go to Subway, $5 footlongs, etc., etc. And I used that song, and it's stuck in my brain ever since. Hey, there's the Spun transformation. And the second reason is I've been listening to a lot of Neil Cicierga's new mashup album. Yes, we want that. Mouth Moods, and that song features prominently in a sample on track 5, Annoyed Grunts, which is just an exquisite march down the memory lane of a dementia patient, not to be insensitive. It's a wonderful piece of transformative art. You might be saying, why don't you just go listen to real music? Look, I can get down with your Brian Eno, ambient volume 1 music for airports. I can get down with the Velvet Underground and Nikos. That's no problem for me. I was raised in the Pitchfork Media School of Music. I'm just gonna head downwards here. I can hipster it up with the best of them. I like your old school hip hops. I like your Beethoven's Fifths. But there's something about these mashups, dude. Like, particularly there's a song called ACVC, which is Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles, making my way downtown, walking fast, stations passing, I'm homebound. Made famous by Vanessa Carlton and then infamous by Terry Crews in, of course, the Wayans Brothers 2004 film White Chicks. Either way, it's that mixed with, AC/DC's Back in Black, and it is only really something that can be described as transcendental. So, I mean, you can listen for free on SoundCloud, as long as Paul McCartney doesn't sue his bitch ass into the ground for using Dear Prudence. So, Dear Prudence was written by John Lennon about Mia Farrow's sister when they lived in India. Yeah, okay, was John Lennon gonna sue him? I don't think so. So Paul McCartney, call off the dogs. Let's get out of here. We're not going to make boss rush. It's better to accept that now. We're going to be slightly too slow, which means that we should use Diplopia probably on our next deal with the devil, and that's fine. Also means we should actually get consumables. Yo, he turned every enemy here into a champion. So we definitely should have taken the nail. Because if we had the nail, oh my god. If we had the nail, we would have just gotten like 3 spirit hearts. And we would have gotten them for free, thanks to Diplopia, but... oh well. Life goes on. I really wanted that to be a blood bank. Either way, this run has been fantastic, and it continues to grow, and we've actually realized most of our potential. So now, considering we have Spun, we're just looking for other good items, and if it's good enough, we got to take it immediately. I know that's a tiers up. I don't really care. We're gonna take Spider Butt just to take it out of the equation. I'm gonna start giving you some money instead of bombs. We may need those bombs. Don't offend me with your existence. Virgo, it still sorta sucks. Well, no, that's not true. But considering we're not that likely to get hit that much, I'd rather just have something that makes it even less likely that we get hit at all than something that gives us an advantage when we get hit. And this is in strong contrast to that run we had very recently where, just one luck upgrade, come on. Come on. In strong contrast to that run we had recently where, we were literally running into, like, every enemy, so. Alright, let's do this. What does Telepills garner us now? Effectively, like, jack shit, but... come on, 2020. Or, Bookworm. There we go. Look at how much extra damage we get from that Bookworm play, dog. Okay, next shot will probably kill regardless. Bookworm makes it a sure thing. We take the Polaroid, head down to the next floor. No mapping yet. And that's the only thing that even mildly bums me out about this run. Well, that and a little bit of a dearth of red hearts, but I think it would be tone deaf to complain about that, given our situation right now as having, Brimstone, Death Touch, and Spun. Brimstone, Death Touch, Spun, and the ability to fly, especially with Diplopia hanging out here in the back end, is basically like, you can never complain about anything. I'll check this out. Ace of Clubs? Hermit. I think the Hermit card was the right call there. What are we missing out on? I mean, maybe a few bombs, but Our HP is dear enough to me right now that bombs are somewhat irrelevant. We could do the Hush fight, but if we're gonna do the Hush fight, I'm sincerely looking for like a Chaos card. Because our damage, although good, is not necessarily like recreational Hush fight good. Dude, you know those enemies are strong when they can handle standing on a spike for like 2 ticks of damage. I've had runs myself that don't aspire to those highs. Four keys means we definitely should go back. Yeah, I think this is going to be good. Does this mean this is the start of a streak? No, I would suggest not. You know, we got a little while before I'm going to feel comfortable. I mean, if we win a bunch of runs in a row, sure, call it a streak. You're not going to get inside of my head. It's not like you're going to give me the yips or anything. I'm unshakable. The mental toughness of an animal that's particularly mentally tough. I don't know. I can't think of any animals that are that mentally tough. We don't really have the means to measure that in a, you know, zoological sense, I think. Basically, this run is awesome if we could just get 2020 to last forever. Or, yeah, I mean, it's bookworm, but you know what I mean. If we could get the 2020 effect permanently, this would be like a 10 out of 10 run. Instead, it's like a 7 out of 10. Which is still good. And I hesitate to even say that because people are going to be like, you got Brimstone, how can it be 7 out of 10? Just, you know, hear me out here. Oh, yeah. Leviathan means we didn't actually have to take what was it, Spirit of the Night. However, you know, if we'd known that before, we would have planned our run very differently in a lot of ways. It's, you know, in Isaac, you don't have foresight. Sometimes you end up taking things you aren't necessarily going to need. We're going to make it to Hush. Are we going to fight Hush? Oh, that sucks. No. Probably not, at least. Tears up, we're now at the cap. Which is actually useful information for me, because it means that the Brimstone cap is 3 times... Yeah, that's probably better. The Brimstone cap is 3 times what the normal cap is. Only 37% Devil Deal chance. I guess we did have a Devil Deal, like, literally 23 seconds ago, where we picked up the pack, so, I mean, I'm not gonna say that that's a bad thing. Why didn't I use Diplopia? Well, I'm still holding on to this idea that, like, maybe we just use Diplopia on the chest instead. I gotta remind myself, this isn't a run where we expect to find, Void, unless we actually end up going through the Hush fight, and the only way I can see myself wanting to do that is actually if we get a deal with the devil here that, like, transforms us into Guppy, so... Let's hold off for now. Come on, Bookworm, Bookworm. Yes! He didn't quite get the kill, but Daddy Longlegs finished it off. Again, this is just bad. Like, I want to love duality, and I think I would if you got it on your first Devil Deal. Although, is there even any point to getting it on your first Devil Deal? Because then it must override the fact that you paid for a deal. Otherwise, it just wouldn't make sense. But yeah, like, showing up past the point in which you're ever going to see deals with the devil, outside of a Joker card, which doesn't work with duality, I think. Obviously, it kind of puts a little bit of a damper on things. So, again, mark duality on the list. He's like Johnny Manziel or something like that. Like, the disgraced Cleveland Browns quarterback. We need to see, or take a wait-and-see approach. If it comes to training camp, a.k.a. the first deal with the devil, and it shows us some good stuff, I could be persuaded to, you know, give it a spot on the starting rotation. You never know how many field goals he's going to kick, you know, when his back's against the wall and he's on the ropes. I regret this. Here, just keep moving, just keep moving. Bookworm, man, I forget how tanky Monstro 2 is, man. Throws you for a loop sometimes. Either way, I don't know why, like, I think it's just because I did an Azazel run that ended up being the daily for, you know, February 2nd. A couple minutes before I started this run. This run feels like slow, which is so unfair because we've got Brimstone Spun, Death's Touch. I will say, and I always do this and it annoys people, but I like to be honest about it, even if it reflects badly on me. 7.67 damage is not that good. It's certainly not good enough to be like, you know, I can never say that I wish we had a damage upgrade or people are going to be mad. I get that the ticks come through faster here and they don't stop coming. You know, bend to the rules and you hit the ground running. But, there is a lot of room for improvement. If we had Brimstone, we're over 10 damage. You know, I know we're at the tier cap as well, but I'm just saying it could be. There's room to grow. And that's a good thing. Having room to grow is not a bad thing. Iron Man, as a 45-year-old superhero, has reached his true potential, and it's great. He's a great superhero. Spider-Man, he's 17. He's got his whole world laid out, you know, at his feet. At his spider legs. He can go do whatever he wants to do. He could be a Spider-Man, he could be a Spider Grandpa. Many different varieties of spider, you know, morphology. We're Spider-Man right now. And we're going down to the chest and we're hopeful that we're going to get some sweet spider items. The irony is going to be too palpable if we get a bunch of spider items that I don't like. For example, spider butt. We shouldn't even be able to see spider butt, but... Spider, was it spider's eye? Spider bite, that's it. That would actually be great, though. I still could die. But we're going to use Diplopia. I always do this. I misuse Diplopia. I'll be the first to tell you. Probably should have used it. Probably should have used it to take the pact. Way back when. Life goes on. We're going to head down here and we're going to Diplopia the chests after we open them so we get a choice in the matter. Polyphemus is exquisite. Beautiful. It kind of sucks, though. I don't think we're going to Diplopia much here. Because, like, I just want Host Hat. I don't think doubling Polyphemus will do it for us. And these are all active items. So this is going to seem weird. We're going to take Polyphemus right away. If we can get some chests to put those items on, then we will use Diplopia. Because the chests are going to be gone now. But I don't want to Diplopia them. Which means that I will probably finish this run with a win, but a lot of angry people. Because of the fact that I just didn't use Diplopia at all. I accept this as my curse for being a moron. So we're in this weird state right now where, like, basically, if I get a bookworm shot, pretty much any enemy that isn't Blue Baby is gonna die. If it's not a bookworm shot, we probably need to hit you twice. And that's sort of a problem, because our rate of fire is now, like, 3 times worse than it used to be, but... I think, you know, with every room that we take down here, we come a little closer to that being largely fairly irrelevant. Beautiful. I think we had a bookworm shot to finish that one off. Shit, dude. Really should not have squandered this. But sadly, I think I did. The Diplopia, that is. We're gonna win the run, like... If we're only going to Blue Baby and we don't have to do Void after, we're going to win the run. The only question is whether I'm going to look like the greatest of all time or like a literal GOAT when we finish. Greatest of all time is probably a stretch to begin with, you know? Nobody's like the greatest of all time in anything. There's always arguments. What about Wayne Gretzky? Nah, dude, people are like, yeah, Wayne Gretzky's really good, but Mario Lemieux, you know, if he didn't get non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'll tell you what, Firemind... Diplopia that. At least get something. Great. We used Diplopia to get a worse item than the spacebar item we gave up to get Diplopia. Firemind could be okay, though. They're like, Mario Lemieux, he had a higher points per game stat for like the first 15 years of his career. Some people go, yo, Gordie Howe, he played for 40 years. Bobby Orr, best offensive defenseman of all time. Oh, but what about, you know, Sidney Crosby? Sidney Crosby's playing in a different era. It's not conceivable to get as many points as Wayne Gretzky got, you know? Michael Jordan? Nah, people were like, you know, what about Wilt Chamberlain? They played in different eras, you know, the Chicago Bulls were so stacked before the existence of the salary cap, and, you know. To be the greatest of all time is not plausible. I'll take in the conversation. That's as good as it's gonna get here. Don't make me do it. I'm gonna cash out. And You're going to be mad at me for doing it, maybe? We're not going to set the precedent of doing Delirium every single fight, especially because the last round we did Delirium and killed ourselves as a result. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.